Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This video is for Paul in China. And these are two throttles from 93600 SL 129 chassis, so V12 model. So basically I had first video made showing the problem that one throttle was not activating. That was the driver's side unit here. It was a very strange problem because when you would move the lever, it would kind of activate the passenger side, but just slightly, and then it would go into limp mode, and it was very strange. So once I rebuilt both of them, changed the cables, resoldered everything, cleaned them all up, did the gears, fixed the connectors, fixed entry points. There was a lot of work done on these actually, and here's the result. I mean, they do work fine. They do work fine now. Because I couldn't even start checking them out because the way that they were soldered, but some points were overheated. The connections inside the connector, they were like bare cables with some heat shrink wrap. I mean, yeah, they seem to go all the way down, but I don't know. I mean, it was a mess. So the wire gauge was different. It was not the right wire gauge, so that is another thing. So yeah, but if you watch the first video, you will see that one unit would activate, the other one would not. It's just a slow speed of activation because on the bench test these throttles do not open all the way. It's just that I just left them to be active not too quickly because it just strains my little that little gear over here. Too much stress for it. But other than that, they work fine. So right now they're connected to this e-gas module right here. This is just one of my parts units here. It is working unit as you can see. Just show you the connections. As you can see, here's the connector, these are the wires, and they go into your throttles. The actual connectors were pretty butchered, but I managed to kind of sculpt casing for them. As you can see, at least we had a base that was sort of there. The rest I just basically made, so they look very close to the way they're supposed to look like. Basically they were cut like this. You see somebody tried to cut this one too, just the same matter. I don't like doing it like this, really don't like doing this like that, but because, and then I also got them so the whole case over here was missing. But good news is that the internal was not damaged. This is very important. The internals, if you cut it wrongly, you can damage the internals, and then you're gonna have to find other ways to fix this. But thank God that the internals, they were fine. The holder itself with pins, and that was not touched. But anyway, so right now the wires go straight to from the connector straight to the board, straight runs without the interconnects. Okay, these throttles were on the bench for about maybe a good amount of maybe 14-15 hours by now, non-stop. As you can see, this is the temperature of the of units. We can hit like 100. Just to compare it, this is the cold unit right here. So as you can see, these are much warmer because ambient temperature is colder. Obviously these units are they don't get to over 100. Usually if the ambient temperature is about 80-85, you get them to like 110, 117, but because it's cooler obviously. Well, anyway, now some bolts are not in there yet because after the bench test I opened them up and double checked them all, make sure everything is on point and everything works. No residue, no funny smells, no funny kind of like the gears spin fine and everything. After all these hours, it's a very good thing to do. So let's just look at our okay, so again, activation. As you can see, both work nice and synced. Okay, they cleaned off quite well. Now internals are nice. It appears that there's a little bit of discoloration, but that's gonna get dirty like real quick because this is the throttle plates and all. But other than that, they cleaned off quite nice. Okay, and again, as you can see, it's still not locked yet because again I need to double check internals before I pack them and have them ready for mailing. After the bench test, I revisit them. Now, next thing what we're gonna see is we're going to see our live readings from eGas module to see what computer what computer sees with these throttles. So what we have here is we have very close readings, which is great. They're supposed to be pretty much identical, but 200ths of a volt is not critical by any means. So when we open our throttle plates, our readings will change, and for the most part they will start to be very even to each other. So 307, 307, those readings are the plate angle, so we have equal readings. That's perfect. That means that both plates open at the same exact angle. This is our throttle position sensor. This is just a reference potentiometer from the secondary throttle, just to know for cruise control purposes and whatnot. So that is where we are. So all our voltages register. As you can see, this is about what I always get all the time on my bench at full wide open throttle on all the V12 throttles, 199 to 199, and these readings are not the same. Okay, so these two, they're not the same. These must be always synced with each other. That is very vital. So it takes a little bit before computer comes up to its senses. Let's see, 245, 374, 372. Again, 200ths of a volt. This is not critical by any means. That's just totally fine. You see sometimes a change just like that. I've seen it many times. And see 405, 403. So yeah, 200ths of a volt, not a big deal at all, because that's like like not even a degree. That's like, you know, these throttles, when the air passes through them, they will be moving here and there just slightly. So that's not critical by any means necessary. So that is totally fine. Now, because these throttles go far to another, you know, outside to the other country, then what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to go out there and I'm going to plug them into one of my V12s, just to show how they operate when they're connected to the vehicle. Because when you connect them to the vehicle, now these throttles will open all the way. Now they will open completely. Alright, so let me pause this video. I'm gonna try to add the second part to this very video. Okay, so here we are outside, and here we have both throttles connected to the vehicle. That's another V12. So what we have here is, don't mind this, I don't know why it doesn't stick. Somebody sent me this thing and I glued it right, but it didn't stick to paint. It's just weird. I don't know. I don't like this material anyway. I want original. But anyway, so don't mind that. Right now we have both connected, as you can see. They fit into connectors just fine, obviously. These are my throttles, as you can see. I've done them the same exact way, no problems. And it's cold, but we'll put on the ignition first. We're going to go through learning cycle first. Then I'm going to show you the operations. So first is the learning cycle. Let's take a look. That's it. So this was the learning cycle, and as I mentioned before, right now, as you can see, both throttles, they do open all the way now. As you can see, they open fully. That is how they will open on your vehicle as well. Both together synchronized, that's how it is supposed to work. If your eGas module is good, that's how it's gonna happen. Now, one more thing I'm going to do, it's going to be quick, but I'm going to start the car just to show you that there is no ASR light, although the car will not run properly because throttles are not on the intake manifold, of course. Oops. Weak battery now, I see that. Weak battery. Well, anyway, yep, the battery was very weak. But anyway, so we have it running. As you can see, there is no ASR light, just suspension light. But see throttles, I can open and close them real quick, but you shouldn't do this when the engine is running, because right now it's totally wrong air supply going to the engine. But for testing purposes, I can do that. So as you can see, both throttles activate, and there is no SR light. Everything is fine. RPMs are high, of course, because I have no throttles installed. Basically, I mean, it's just whatever air passes in, that's what's happening here. But as you can see, both units work. No problems there. Yeah, the engine shakes a little bit. It needs a tune-up and all. It's been sitting forever. Okay, so basically this is where we're going to be. Just shut it off because it's very loud. Once more, I'm just going to show you the activation, and that's we call it today. As you can see, both of them work just fine. No problems. Okay, so that's about it. This is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. Thank you for watching.